So we're up today on top of Branchal Bing. We ended our last walk just over at the north-south road, and we've came along through this housing estate here and down through the path. And we're on top of the Bing. This is all the spoil and tip from the old mining days. Plenty of people have came here to watch sunrises, sunsets, fireworks, all sorts of things in the local area. Over the next sort of couple of hours we're going to start heading in towards Coltness, and we're going to come down through Coltness here, through the estate, heading into Branchwood that you can see on the right hand side of the screen here. We're going to go to Branchwood and then down through Coltness, and we're going to have a look along the South Calder water and see what we can see today. So at this point we've came along from Cambusnethan Bing through the housing estates over in Coltness at Leatham Drive, and we came in the top here into North Branchwood Forest. We'll continue on this path down past the pond, across Coltness Road and into the right there towards the old quarry, and that's where we'll pick up the next section of these videos. So we're actually just at the bottom of the path here, North Branchwood, and just in front of us here is Swinsty Pond. So this is a bit of a dumping ground at the back. So on the left hand side of this pond over here, there's a bit of a dumping ground where they dumped a whole load of demolished tenement flats. I think it was from the Motherwell area, and there's loads of bathtubs and sinks and various other household appliances dumped behind the pond here. Since the pond's got a nice little tree growing out of it, there's a wee fence running through the middle of the pond as well. And just on the right hand side here is South Calder water, which runs down towards the red pipe to the bottom here and round the back. So we're going to come out at the bottom at Coltness Road. If we actually just come down here nice and slowly and we look over here to our left and we zoom in, there's some nice little deer in that area. Now I'm quite fortunate here, I'm dressed all in green and I am upwind from the deer as well, so quite they've not seen me yet and they're just sitting chilling there, quite the thing. Excuse the camera work. And they're just plodding around doing their own thing. Something I do enjoy doing is watching these deer and then going over to check what they're up to, so you can go over and see what they've been eating, see what they've been chewing on, and go see what tracks they leave behind. Coming back over here, we just zoom out and we can see the geese moving. There's a lot happening down here wildlife wise, and the deer are just running off as well, so they are just disappearing. This is a nice little quiet corner, really good to come down with the kids as well. If you want somewhere to throw stones and stuff, go and explore some nature, there's loads down here to go see. We're going to take a right and head through here. This will be the next part of our walk. So far we've came down from Branchal Bing, yeah, through a little housing estate, a couple of wee shops there where you can stop off, you can get a wee haircut if you want, and get some more supplies essentially. There's a wee newsagent there, best one I think. And then we've joined North Branchwood Forest. Came down the forest, had a look at the pond and stuff. We came out the other end, we've hugged that right, across the road, take the right, and now we're in here. So as we're in here, we're in this old quarry here. Nice big open field, loads of pine forest around here, and significant. It's, well, for me it's quite significant. We've got different sort of yew trees and stuff like that, all sort of planted in nice straight lines. I think they were sort of old walkways and we used to follow the trees, and the trees were essentially, when this was all forest and fields, how did you get from A to B, and trees meant something back then. So I think we were following specific lines of trees to get from A to B. And that's just my theory, so please don't take anything official from that. But when you start mapping these trees, that's what I was seeing. And it made sense in my head. So we're going to walk up, we're going to head along this path. We're going to stay behind the houses on North Driver Road. We're going to cross the road again. We're going to go into Coltness Estate, where Coltness House once sat. We'll see what's in there. And then we're going to head down towards the mill in Glen Road. And that'll be us done for today. Nice couple of mile walk. Now, if you want, you can take this path to the right. And this path to the right will take you down along the side of the South Calder Water, and it will take you to the start of essentially Glen Road, where the old mill and stuff is. We're going to go straight on though, and we're going to go up to Coltness Estate. So at this point here you come out, and just over here we've got a bench, and just up behind that bench there's an entrance into the forest, and that's where we're going to go next to go into Coltness Estate.
Okay, so we've just walked up from the woodlands. We've crossed over North Driver Road, up past the bench, and then we've come into the woodland here. So we're currently in the woodland here, just basically at the back of the Barrett Estate, just off Coltness Road. And you'll find here is the grave of a horse. Quite an unusual place to find a horse's grave, I suppose, but if you remember, back in the day, a horse would have been buried just where it lay. You know, too big to basically move it on. So this horse was Griselda. It was the favourite mare. It died on the 11th of February 1910. So supposedly it was the mare of the Belhaven family. So from here, what we'll do is we'll move on down to Memorial in the Woodlands.
Walk. So I came down the path from the horse's grave at the top there, and down here I find this sort of archway in the middle of the woods. Locally it's known as Robin Hood's Den, and it was a memorial seat for the Stuart family. So the memorial was inserted in 1815, but we're unsure of when this was actually built and the structure was actually formed, but having noted that its memorial slab was inserted in 1815, we can put a good age to it. So it's starting to fall down now, which is unfortunate. And the next part, we're going to walk out, cut across the front of the field here, and down in towards the next forest in front of North Driver Road. So earlier on I had mentioned about how the path sort of goes in two directions, and we were going to go head up to Coltness Estate. If you took the other path, it would bring you up here, which would bring you down into the woods in front of North Driver. So down North Driver, and this used to be quite a large waterfall here on the left hand side. So you can see where the embankment is, just at the top here on this side, where the water would pull up, and there'd be a sluice gate on this side over here. And just where my finger is down here, the water would run down the sluice and operate the mill wheel further downstream. This is quite an old section here. We've got some nice photographs of this and people collecting water. But this would be the start of the mill lade. So we came down the main path from that forest, and at the top of the road there you'll see two yew trees. If you take a right onto yew trees, you come into the site of the old mill. The site of the old mill, quite interesting. You get the old mill down here, and the old concrete blocks that also mixed with the Coltness Lodge that was also at the top. That was on the left-hand side of the path, and that was the lodge house before you went up into the Coltness Estate. While you're down the old mill, inside the wall here is something known as St Winifred's Well, or Winsay Well as it's known locally. And it was said back in the day people used to come along and hang little gifts to St Winifred on the two yew trees at the top of the path. Next section, walking down across the bridge and into Lord Belhaven's lowered wall garden. A couple of years ago, I met with a guy whose father used to own the mine down here. So this is where the mine entrance was. This was Deer Park Mine. And he was telling us that the platform here was built out of the wall garden. So they just reused all the stonework, built this platform, and the trucks would come in here, reverse up here. The coal would come out of the mine, straight onto the back of the truck. He said it was pretty much 100% pure profit for the amount of time that they had this mine. And then it would be shipped off up the low road and back down Cleland out for delivery. Going to have a wee quick look through the walled garden, just at two specific points, and then we're going to head out along Glen Road. So down in the walled garden, and it's quite interesting. So I'm not going to go over every detail down here, but have a look out for these. There's two of these redwoods. So these are sequoias, and predominantly grown in the States, but the big estate owners over here started getting them imported. Roughly about the 1850s, these started to get imported. And they protect themselves against forest fires by absorbing pretty much a whole load of water. So the trees are very, very spongy in the bark, and they're very, very wet. So when the forest fires blaze through in the States, it kills everything off. But these things stay standing, so they've sort of evolved to protect themselves against bushfires and stuff, which is pretty cool. We've got two down here on the walled garden, and we're going to have another wee look at one of the nice yew trees, and then we'll head out along Glen Road. This one you can see from the other side of the path. You can see the wall just in the back there, and you can see this from the other side of the river. We're going to walk along that path up to the end of the walkway today. So this is a yew tree here, and well looked after. It almost looks like it's a clump of straws just sort of piled together, which is pretty cool. And as we walk around, sometimes I've found bats nesting in this tree. So, but look at it, it looks like it's 10 trees all bound together. No idea how old it is, but a fairly impressive tree. This area is marked in Roy's map, 1750, so it could be there from then. Could have been planted before then, but it's a fair old size and it's a fair old chunk. But whether or not it's one tree or a small circle of trees all fused together is absolutely beyond me. So as we leave Lord Belhaven's Lord Wall Garden, because there is another one up at Wishaw House, we've seen these yew trees, we've seen the American redwood, or one of them, and the other thing, if you go straight down this path, it takes you locally, takes you down to the green pipe, which is now a blue pipe, and past the Japanese knotweed and stuff like that. But if you can sort of negotiate your way up this top section here, it'll take you to the other American redwood. If you can get up to the top up here, that'll take you to another little ruined cottage. That cottage is called Bankhead Ruin on one of the old maps. And again, looks like it's a gamekeeper's cottage. It sits right next to a place on the old maps known as Deer Park. So it could have been the gamekeeper in there keeping an eye on the herd of deer before any culling or killing for food and stuff like that, you know. So getting up there, best access is over the old mine base and up. I'll check out Deer Park, and it'll also take you to Watersaw, which is further area downstream. So on this side of the bank. So if you want to go see Watersaw, stay on this side. We're going to head over the bridge, and we're going to take a right, and that'll take us to the end of this walk today, on Glen Road. So we're walking up. We've come across that bridge out the walled garden. We've took a right, and we're now walking up towards the end of Glen Road. So this is just down from the commercial. Next time we're going to film quite an in-depth sort of walk and talk around Wishaw House, which will start at the end of this road. So we'll catch up on the next video.